you believe that a person who unalived two little boys by watching them go down in a car in a lake for 8 minutes deserves parole? I have a lot to say about a lot of things, so let's go. 30 years ago, October 25th, 1994, a crime was committed in Union, South Carolina. A mother showed up on a doorstep frantic, asking to call the police. It was near John D. Lake there in Union, and she was asking for help for her children. She explains that on that night, her and her children were carjacked by a black male. He took the car, and when she tried to get her children out of the car seats, he drove off with the children in the car. The kids were 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alex. The world stopped and began looking for these children. Land, air, dogs, everything they possibly could to try to find these two boys. For days, Susan, the mother, and her husband David went on every newscast they could, and they were begging for the boys to be brought back by this person. For 9 days, there was no answer in this case, and the trail was starting to grow cold. But then the investigation was literally flipped upside down when Susan walked into the police station and confessed to unaliving her children. People were outraged, they were so upset, and they were really surprised at how a mother could do this. She explained that on that night she wanted to unalive herself, so she went to the lake and she took her children with her. But when she got there, she ended up putting the car in drive, strapping the kids in the back, and watching them go into the lake for 8 minutes. Even exactly sure where the car was, but quickly scuba divers found the car. And what they found was just, it hurts my heart. They explained that they found the two boys strapped into their car seats in the back. When they went down to see the car, there was a little hand on the window. Police were not as surprised as the public was because there was a lot of holes in Susan's story, and she also failed a couple of polygraphs. I think the thing everyone was wondering, including investigators, was why. Why a mother would do this. Why she would just do this to her children. Now, it wasn't a surprise. Susan had a tough life. She was really given a really bad deck of cards. Her father committed when she was very young, and her stepfather was extremely abusive to the children. She was very depressed all the time, and it's said that she could have had personality disorders as well. Her adult life wasn't going great either. After she met her husband and married and had children, they both were cheating on each other. She was in love with a new man, but he did not want children. Maybe that's what led her to do this. I don't know. He had recently broken things off with her, and so her life just seemed to be spiraling. But why do this to the children? She went through trial and was convicted in July of 1995. She was not given the D penalty, but she was given life in prison, and she could be up for parole. And that is where it leads us to right now, where this woman is up for parole. This month is the first time that Susan Smith will be eligible for parole after 30 years in prison. 130 letters has been already submitted saying that she shouldn't get out, probably 100 of them from me, but I'm just saying 130 has been written saying that she should not be paroled. And I think the big thing is that she hasn't changed. I watched a program on this, and she has gotten 2 men fired for having relations in prison with guards. I know it takes two to tango, but yeah, yeah, they all are responsible. Let's just say that. She is not a model prisoner. Her ex-husband and the father of her children has come out saying he doesn't want her paroled either. So let's just say this. I don't think Susan Smith should be paroled. She believes she has done her time and she is ready to get out, but I'm not convinced. You literally watched your children be unalived right in front of you at your hands, and you're asking to be paroled? They didn't get that time. Why should you? Also, there's the big elephant in the room of the racism of this case. She, of course, blamed a black man knowing what that would do. I just say F you good riddance to this woman. I can't. I can't even good riddance. My goodness. Ugh, just the worst scum of the earth. But what are your opinions? Do you think she should be paroled? Do you have any other opinions on the case? And that is the case of Susan Smith and her children. Let's say their names, Alex and Michael.